The Spine of Night, 2021. Summary for this film: ultra-violent epic fantasy set in a land of magic follows heroes from different eras and cultures battling against a malevolent force. Written and directed by Philip Jalot and Morgan Gallen King. Jason, do you have any information?
So no tagline for this. Distributed by RLJE Films and Shudder. Of course, no physical release yet, but it is streaming on Amazon and Shudder, maybe other places.
Right on. Lisa, do you want to go first? And
okay, I will. I'll get right into it. So I'm not a huge fan of these type of movies at all. Like it's not my cup of tea, but I will say I appreciated it because, okay, first off, I found out that the animation is different. Apparently it's something where they trace it. Yeah. And it looked dated to me, and it was hard for me initially to get over that. But then I kind of got into the whole plot, and it's kind of got that like Greek mythology feel to it. What I will say really got me with it, okay, even though it's not my cup of tea, the gore factor. Can we just talk about it? Because I have never seen it presented in animation like that. So that was new for me. I mean, you saw a lot. They really went out. And for me, I'm a dork. I love the gore. So give it to me. That's what I'm all about. So I loved it. They sold it for me with that. Some of the acting was a little overdone. The nudity. Wow. Let's hear it for that. Any boobs are good boobs, right?
I don't know. That's one of my main
South Park episode.
This is my main issue with the movie is the nudity, and it's because it's so well drawn. Like everything is so well drawn. And then
like, what am I feeling right now? Yeah.
Not the nudity.
What am I feeling?
I think it looks great when they have clothes on, and then when they when they draw naked people, it looks like I did it. You know, it's like there's just like a big.
That's because it's rotoscoped.
But
they have a source for it.
Right, because what they're doing is they're drawing over an actual actor, right? That's what rotoscope is.
Oh my God, are they really?
So their actors are not really naked, you know. It's not like at least Lucy Lawless doesn't even look like that. But regardless, continue, Lisa.
This was a new one for me. Like I said, like I don't really get into the heavy metal, of course, you know, that one is iconic for so many reasons, right? So it reminded me a lot of that. I appreciate the plot. I appreciate everything about it. Like I said, just wasn't my cup of tea. But like I said, they got me with the gore because I was impressed. I've never seen it presented that way. So I was like, oh shit, they're going there. And I loved it. So for me, it's a good 8. You know, I don't know if I necessarily watch it again, but I appreciate it for what, you know, I think for people who really get into that, you know, I think that that's probably like the best thing ever. You know what I mean? You got boobs, you got everything going on, you got murder. I mean, it's a really cool, and also like what a cool like plot too of like, you know, if, you know, power comes into sinister forces, how it can affect generations. You know what I mean? I did kind of like, you know, the morality of it. And I thought it did have a beautiful underlying statement. So all in all, I liked it. I'll give it a good 8. That's from me, you know?
Right on.
Yeah.
Solid.
That's rad.
Yeah, I want to go through a few of these the cast highlights here. You got Lucy Lawless. She plays Zod. Is that how you say that?
Xena?
Yeah, Xena. She's in a bunch of other stuff too. But, nothing I've seen, but Patton Oswalt as Lord Pyrantine.
Yeah,
Pyrantin. Yeah.
Betty Grable.
His face while he was killed was so fantastic.
Oh my God! I know.
Oh yeah.
That gore, like
so
it's
good.
So good.
Yeah,
it really is. The animation with the rotoscoping is so good.
That's what it's called, rotoscoping. Yeah.
It was used a lot by Ralph Bakshi back in the day, but
my favorite is Richard Linklater's Waking Life.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Yeah. Betty Gabriel plays Faye Agura. She was in Get Out. You got Joe Manganiello, however you say that.
Manganiello.
Pittsburgh represent as Mongrel. And
Pittsburgh.
You know what movie I have him? I mean, you may have seen him in the Pee-wee's Big Holiday movie.
Oh yeah,
yes. He was of course in Magic Mike or whatever it is too. But
oh God.
Yeah. And Larry Fessenden as the Prophet of Doom.
I
love that dude. He's in so many
biggest
good movies.
name of
I swear to God, if they do not use him for a Jack Nicholson biopic,
Oh.
we are fucking missing
We need
out
a
on an
Shining remake
opportunity.
with him.
Yes.
And,
Absolutely.
He
and
should
the
have been.
girl that
Mm.
plays
He should have been in Doctor Sleep.
oh god, I
I
can't,
love Henry Thomas. But
Yeah,
he
he
should
should
have.
have.
been in
Yeah,
Dr.
Henry
Sleep.
Thomas was
That
really
would
good.
have
Yeah.
been so rad. That'd
Yeah.
been so
Um,
rad.
anyways, back on this
Yeah.
movie. I
Love you,
thought
Larry.
I did think it was a really odd choice to make Lucy Lawless's character nude like all the time. Like
Yeah,
just
they never really explain it, do they? Like why she's
No.
always naked. Yeah.
I mean, and like I said, it just looks like I drew it whenever they're naked because they gotta but I do
think
like
it's fitting for the animation.
it does remind me of that old style stuff because they had to do the same
Yeah.
shit back then. But
Yeah, it's like
you know,
like almost like Fritz the Cat or
Right.
Right.
like
It's
heavy
weird.
metal.
Yeah.
but
It was hard for me to adapt to it. Does that make sense? Like it was
Yeah.
hard
Right
for
on.
me.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
It was,
and then
yeah,
when
it was
I
jarring.
got further into it, I started to
Mhm.
kind of appreciate it because I realized like what they were aiming for with the
Yeah.
look of it and the aesthetic
Mhm.
of it. So I was like, oh,
Totally.
okay, I get this. You know,
it's more
the
of
first
a
kill really for me was just like, oh, it's done because I love where they're going with this. Like I said, I
Oh,
have never
totally.
seen that kind of gore presented in cartoon. So it was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, they're going there, and I
Oh,
loved
that's
it.
so
So
awesome.
for
Absolutely.
me, yeah, it sold it with that. You know,
100%.
That is
Yeah.
so
It's
cool.
that whole first
you got so much more to check out. There's so many others too.
yeah.
To check
That's that whole
out. It's
first
crazy.
act though is
Wow.
kind of
Yeah.
slow.
They're not all winners, but they're cool to see.
But
They're
once
cool to
once
watch.
stuff
deep
starts
down, yeah.
happening, it
I'll
does
go
get a
down the
lot
rabbit
better.
hole because I'm curious about it. Yeah, because this one impressed me. It was a
Yeah.
grab you by the balls movie. That's what I
Mm.
say.
Mhm. For sure. Yeah, they didn't
Um,
pull any punches on this one.
No, they did not. Yeah.
I don't like how quick they dispatched Patton Oswalt's character.
Oh, like so quick. Yeah.
Like he was one of the main draws for me whenever I saw he was in the film, and I was like, he has to love this shit because he loves fantasy stuff and like
Oh yeah.
just killed so quick. The blood and the gore is the highlight, and the scene where the Inquisitor becomes possessed and slaughters all the villagers.
Oh my god, that
That's-
was insane.
Yeah.
That's when I was
Yeah,
like,
so many.
that's what this whole movie is that whole moment
Mhm.
there and
Yep.
the way it wraps up. But aside
With
from the
them-
unneeded,
claw things on his fingers.
oh
that
yeah,
make
to
them-
turn the pages or
Yeah.
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, so he didn't have to touch them, but look
Yeah.
weird doing them.
Yeah, and then he was
Totally
using them for
yeah.
magic. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh,
but-
he was Wolverining out with powers. That was so
Right.
cool.
But aside from the unneeded and constant nudity, I really enjoyed this film as much as you can enjoy a feature-length animated film. So I give it an 8 also.
Cool, man. We agree.
Yeah.
Brilliant minds, huh?
Sweet.
Oh yeah. John, or is it Jason? Jason?
Jason.
Yeah, so I was really excited to see this because I don't believe I've ever seen a feature length animated horror. If they're out there, I don't know. I don't know about it. I haven't seen them. But I didn't really get that. I love the gore. Love the visuals. This was just very more on the fantasy side, just like very graphic fantasy. Like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, this is like, I feel like I'm watching like Lord of the Rings mixed with He-Man, like or the old cartoons.
Oh yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
The story's good, and I actually for like the first hour, like I kind of felt like a little kid, like the way I remember being wrapped up into my cartoons. Like I was
Like a
in this
barbarian
world.
cartoon.
Like
And then
I
all of
was
a
missing
sudden-
action figures in my hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was-
Right?
You
Right.
could have had him. You got him all behind
a
you.
blanket wrapped
With the-
around me.
with the figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
A
No, I
Capri
got you.
Sun or something. But no, after about an hour into it, I was kind of bored with it. Like I kind of was just ready for it to go. Like I was in it. I loved the visuals. I loved the music, the score. The score was great. Probably won't watch it again. Probably not going to be one that I pick up. But it has me wanting to see an actual, like a full-on horror 90-minute. And like, I don't know anything about animation, but I'm assuming that it's cheaper than making a movie.
For sure.
And then
well,
you-
maybe not this
yeah,
style.
but
though,
100%.
It's a
Yeah.
lot longer.
It would
A
have
lot
to be.
longer.
Yeah.
I would
That
assume
style
it's
a lot
cheaper.
longer.
And you have really the only limits you have is what artists you get. Like you can write and the effects and the gore, you can see that there's no limits. You can, whatever your artist can do is that's your limitations right
well
there.
And
But,
another
yeah,
thing they could have done that would have made it maybe seem a little less long is like all those old, like heavy metal and all that shit. They change the animation, like even Waking Life, every scene is done by a
Waking
different
Life. I
artist.
think that's the first movie I whatever that was called,
Rotoscope.
Yeah, I think that's the first movie I ever saw like that. And that movie,
Yeah, it's rotoscoped animation. Yeah,
I mean, under the influence, that movie can rock you.
Oh yeah,
your
for
world a
sure.
little bit. But
You know
anyway,
what?
yeah,
I'm gonna come out and say it. I've never even seen that movie.
Oh
Waking
well,
Life.
if you
it's
want,
fantastic.
I
Oh, it's a
love
classic. You have
animation.
to.
All right,
you do.
is it where's
Yeah.
that
I
streaming
don't know.
somewhere? Anyone know?
Probably.
I'll look later.
I'm not even sure.
It's got
I'll look
what's his
later.
name? What's that crazy guy? And he's in it. Oh God, the guy that's always yelling about gay frogs. What's his name? Alex Jones. He's
What's
in that
Alex
movie.
Jones? Oh, that's
He's
right. He
in it?
is.
Yeah,
That's
he's
right. He is.
animated
Yes, he
driving
is.
down. Isn't he driving down the road yelling about something
Yeah.
in a megaphone?
In a car that
Oh,
looks
my
like a
God.
boat, maybe.
He used to do that. He used to drive around and yell out.
Yeah,
of
I
the
know
megaphone.
that, but oh my
Yeah.
God. All right, I
yeah,
got it.
so-
Anyways,
I haven't
back-
seen
get
it
back
in
to Jason.
years, but yes.
Sorry,
yeah,
Jason. Yes.
No, check that out. Waking Life. Let's plug that one.
All right.
It was cool. It's I don't know. It was middle of the road for me. I gave it a 5. John.
All right. So like I love anything animated. Like I'm a cartoon guy. That is my deal.
Deal with it.
We rarely take the TV off of Cartoon Network because me and my daughter are both just geeking out over stupid shit. So saw heavy metal when I was real young. It was life altering. I love that movie so much. It's just like opened my eyes. It is. It's just opened my eyes. I was like, it's a cartoon,
But it's
with
cool.
boobs. Yeah, and it's violent. I mean, like I was
And John Candy was in it.
You
10?
like grow up when you see that movie. You grow up when you see that movie.
Yeah, it is a.
like
it'll just
Harold
change your life.
Ramis was in it.
Yeah,
Like, it was
everybody.
a fantastic soundtrack. I didn't even know what the hell I was listening to.
And there's
at that
boobs.
age. Yeah, and there's boobs again.
Don't forget the boobs.
Yeah. But so I saw this trailer and I saw that it was like $3 on Amazon. I totally snatched it up. Like I just like rented it, watched it like a few times. Oh, so cool. It took him, I think I read it took him 7 years to make this movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
I read that too.
Yeah, because a part of it was COVID related, you know.
Yeah.
The slowdown in that, but the whole animation thing, I love it. It really reminded me of Lord of the Rings, except in Lord of the Rings, the performers were actually like, you know, they were rotoscoped as well, but it was like so fluid. It looked like it was just drawn on the film itself.
Yeah.
And I'd only just seen that recently, and I'm sad about not seeing it until recently. But Lucy Lawless, great voice. I love her. I'll watch just about anything she's in. I was so happy when she was on the Evil Dead, Ash versus Evil Dead. Like she rocked.
Oh, I forgot she was on that.
Yeah, she was awesome in that. The whole like rise of the what was his name? Gulsor? Is that his name? The villain?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Gulsor.
Gulsor? Yeah.
Yeah. Holy crap. Because she's telling it, I don't know how long this span is of him ruling. Because I'm assuming they said he's immortal. So this could have been hundreds of years since she went out looking for this guy. So I
Well, it almost had to be, right? Because he had developed such a huge army of flying ships that could pour lava.
Yeah, he had blimps. Yeah, he had blimps. It was awesome. It was straight out of heavy metal. Like I love that kind of steampunk stuff. Like that is so cool.
I did too. Obviously, I'm into it.
Oh yeah, totally. But I agree with Frank. Patton Oswalt, dude, his character, he nailed it. Oh my god, so sniveling and fucking evil and just cruel. Just
shitty.
Cruel. Yeah, just a shitty dude, right? And then that the way his face looks and the whole bandage sequence, like that was just so cool. I love when dude with the the finger claws, right? Like
The
finger
page
lasers.
turners.
The necromancer.
Just that was awesome. That was such a cool effect. I was like, when he started turning evil, I was like, if they don't do some with these claw page turner things, I'm gonna be bummed. That would have been a wasted opportunity. I mean, those things are so weird looking. They reminded me of Futurama. The one episode he invented the thing longer.
Oh yeah.
Anthology episodes. That's what it totally reminded of. He had 4 fing longers. It was so funny. But I love when the battle at the the Citadel, is that with the library where all the books are, where the those people are, when that old guy gets chopped in half.
The Pantheon.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The Pantheon.
And then there was the Dark Pantheon that that he lived in or whatever.
Right. But the detail of the animation and everything, it was just such an amazing film. The story did drag a little bit. It totally dragged a little bit. So,
it was disjointed for sure.
Yeah. Even Heavy Metal dragged a little bit on a couple stories. There were some that were longer than they needed to be. But I mean, it is what it is. It's just part of the storytelling. Either catches your interest or lulls you a little bit, but whatever.
So what'd you give it?
This is definitely an 8 for me. I loved it a lot, but it did drag a little bit. So
solid 8.
I just love. Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Love
too. That's how I felt. Yeah,
right.
Me too.
Dave.
So I wanted to talk about the animation a little bit, like the fact that there are background artists that have this beautiful tableau, and then you have this rotoscoped animation where, like, you can tell these animators have, like, kind of made their own way and like kind of mapped what should be done. Like, I'm glad Shudder has like made this an original, because I don't think we're gonna get stories like this any other way. It would be like a $60 million live action film.
Yeah.
I'm fresh out of Robert Eggers' The Northman, and I can see some parallels with it. But this is the way to tell that story if you're gonna do it. I know Netflix has just recently got rid of their animation division, and that's
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Big Mouth was like one of their biggest things.
Hits ever. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, no, they got rid of it.
Well, they tried to milk that a little bit too much with that new series that they came out with.
They don't
like
feel there's a spin-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to have a Shudder original make this movie is with especially Richard E. Grant and Patton Oswalt and Lucy Lawless, like, as stars in this film. Like, it's really cool to have other to have that kind of like prestige in that kind of like streaming movie, because I don't think we're gonna get it anywhere else. It gave me very heavy Witcher vibes. I don't know if you guys play video games, but I play The Witcher 3 especially, and that felt like very very precedent for me. And again, the gore is perfect. The gore is perfect.
It's
so good.
It's so awesome,
especially for the rotoscope that they have, because it's aggressive, but it's not too aggressive. But again, it's still like
jarring.
It's still jarring.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I kind of loved about it, because they knew how to deal with it.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. I like the Inquisitor. I like the magic aspect. Like it's a perfect fantasy horror film, but I feel like if it were a live action, they wouldn't be able to make it. You
No
know?
That's what
way.
I'm
Oh,
saying.
no.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
The effects budget alone, for God's
Would
sake.
kill
Right.
it,
that
yeah.
was nuts.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, which is why I'm thinking about like Robert Eggers' The Northman, and like I'm glad he was able to make that film because it has some parallels to a certain extent, but it's just like I'm so glad that even like the opening of the eye and it's
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah, that was great.
that was
so rad.
fantastic. And like
so cool.
the like spatial just the like the uh just yeah just the uh just yeah just the um yeah just the spatial aspect of it. I don't know.
You're getting lost, dude. A lot of
It's
that
all
stuff.
Yeah, I'm
a
getting
lot of
lost.
that
Give it.
stuff.
All the damn time.
A lot of that stuff with the eyeball and stuff reminded me of Liquid TV. Do you remember that, or Liquid Television?
Oh yeah.
I
Me too.
have, yeah.
Neon
Yeah.
Flux. That
Yeah.
that that,
Oh,
that close up of
gosh,
the eyeball.
Oh,
Yeah.
What was
Most
the guy who lived in
recently-
the brain? Remember
there
that?
was,
The head. That was
yeah,
just
the
the
head.
head.
Yes, remember that mess?
head.
Oh my god, that was such
That
a
was so
weird show.
weird.
It's like
Yeah.
yeah, and like yet
And
I
the
was drawn to it,
Max.
just like
That
Neon
was
Flux and
back-
every other one of them.
Back
Yeah.
when
I also thought I thought that the last half had almost a like a Mad Max Fury Road kind of like aspect to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Especially with the goggles
oh the
and
bird
whatnot.
people. Yeah.
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 So
What'd you give it,
I'd
Dave?
say it's an 8. Yeah.
Right on. Well, it's,
Unanimous 8.
no,
I'm
Jason
the-
gave
I'm
it a
the-
5.
I'm the only
Oh,
So it's not approved. It's not approved. It's got to be
Oh.
eights across the board.
8.
Can't win them all, right?
yeah.
All right.
I don't recommend not watching it.
If you like animation, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just so glad that Shudder made this thing because I
Yep.
know Netflix is like veering away from it. Like I don't
Did-
think.
Did Shudder make it, or did they just like?
Yeah, it's a
buy
Shudder
it?
original.
Well, they
No,
could
I
have just
know, but
bought
I
I'm
it.
sure-
rented it.
No,
on
they
the
bought
Amazon
it. Yeah, it
before.
was an
Yeah, okay.
exhibition thing. Yeah,
Because
for
if
sure.
it took
Oh,
7
gotcha. Yeah,
years,
all right.
how long Shudder
Yeah.
been around?
Yeah.
Have they been working on this fucking thing since?
Right,
the
exactly.
inception?
No,
I can't.
Yeah,
no.
seven years,
I think
man.
someone
They released it. They released it wide on their platform, though.
Yeah.
So that's
they had their
really
own
cool.
financing and they made it a Shudder original. From
Yeah,
my
yeah.
understanding,
They bought it and slapped their names on it.
Was international.
Oh,
And
yeah.
U.S. is Shudder.